What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 30 of the LAN project here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are good. We're back again. Today, we're taking on Sporting. It's another Europa League game. I feel like it's important to do each and every one of these. It's just going to be the one game today. I did ask, of course, last episode what you guys would like to see me do in the way of, the coming episodes. A few people suggested I do a Sporting doubleheader. I've not actually kind of played enough of the save game to do both those games. So I think tomorrow we'll do the other game against Sporting. We'll kind of have a Sporting start to the week, I guess you could say. Worth also noting that I'm recording this the day the video goes up. This is probably going up a little later than usual, which I apologise for. And additionally, just while we're on the note of apologies, I want to say sorry for the audio quality of the Fenerbahce episode last time out. I had some recording issues. To be honest, it's been a bit of a weird start to the year. I've been ill, I've had my microphone kind of screw up on me a few times, I've had just lots of stuff going on, and on top of that all, I've been trying to get back on the health kick, so I've been working out a lot, which again has eaten into my time to play FM, and on top of that actually, I've got a Norwich save that I started whilst I was ill that I was determined to finish the season of, and it's going really, really well. I've tweeted a little bit about it. If you don't follow me at Work the Space, I don't know what you're doing with your life, it's the place to be. Go give us a follow. Anyway, since you were last here, a few different games to talk about. The first game against Cliftonville, one of two league games we had. And, well, as you can see here, we won this game 3-1. A good little performance, fully rotated team. Our kind of crazy run of fixtures just keeps on going. It's pretty relentless, the schedule right now. It's easing up in the foreseeable future. But yeah, certainly around this game it was tricky. In this game though, very comfortable win against Cliftonville. We went 2-0 up, they grabbed a goal back, then Ross Christie grabbed one in the 93rd minute. No real screamers or, insane goals of note. It was just nice, consistent, concise finishing by the team. But nevertheless, a very good result there. Following on from that, we took on Coleraine. As you can see here in the Northern Irish Football League Cup third round, it went to extra time, but we did win it, and it came through a Jim Wood goal. On off the bench he came, and he's been a little bit of a difference maker for us, has Jim Wood, since he's played for us this year. A few times he's come on off the bench. He started a few games as well. Obviously, with all our centre attacking mid-injuries, it's kind of opened up an opportunity for him. He's doing okay. He got the important goal here in what is a important win that keeps us going in the Cup. Anyway, our next game we had against Portadown, of course, our rivals of the first season. Not exactly a classic, this one, but a tidy finish by Kendra Simmons, the difference maker, in the 14th minute. From there, a game which we were largely in control of. They did have a few chances, to be fair, but we hung on for a 1-0 lead. And in our most recent game, we took on Harland and Wolf Welders, a 4-1 win in the Cup. You can see here Glatzel, McCoy, Andrew Morrison and Steve Pestridge with the goals. And while Pestridge, he's looking pretty tasty, if I might say so myself. He's been finding a few goals. The 17-year-old, one of a few players we signed from Crewe last year. You can see here 3 goals in 5 games in the league. He's doing okay. Hopefully he can keep it going. And, well, today it's Sporting, isn't it? Of course, in the Europa League, if we just look here, we currently sit third in our group, Sporting atop. We are somehow, looking okay with 3 points, I guess. Of course, Karabag we played previously and beat. Last episode, we lost 5-3 against Fenerbahce. And despite the voice in the back of my head saying, Jack, maybe we should play more defensive today against Sporting, I'm ignoring the voice of reason. We're going balls to the wall. We're going to attack, attack, attack. It's going to backfire, and I will cry at some point probably. Anyway, this is the team we're going to go with. It's actually the same team that we've been playing quite a lot. I had someone, I think either last episode or the episode before, ask me why I play Phoenix Patterson instead of Janelle Bennett. And it's not an unreasonable question. But with Football Manager, there's no point in just looking at a player's overall ability. Because if you were to compare these two players, you'd see Janelle Bennett does just perform better. But if you look at the statistics here, simply put, Phoenix Patterson is superb. A 7.38 average rating, playing in more difficult games, I'd say, than Janelle Bennett. In fact, you can see here, in terms of their head-to-head stats, the only one that Janelle Bennett wins in is tackles per 90 minutes, which, funnily enough, I don't value that highly. You can see here 10 starts and 7 appearances off the bench. Phoenix has played slightly more games as a starter, but less games overall, and he has almost double the goals and 4 times as many assists. It's kind of one of those things where I'm going to pick the team based off form occasionally, and Phoenix has been superb. Anyway, the rest of the team, as I said, largely unchanged. Jared Thompson holds down his position in goal. To be fair to him, he's been improving a fair bit as of late. Maybe I should be putting a bit more faith in him to come good for us. He is still only 21, Jared, and he's, yeah, as I said, he's improving a fair bit. At left back, we're going to go with Kieran Kane, who is continuing to play for Northern Ireland's international side, which is particularly exciting, might I say. We then have, of course, O'Sheen and McLeany alongside one another at the centre-back positions. I actually feel like these guys aren't necessarily our best centre-back pairing in terms of raw ability, but they're two players who do perform fairly well together. We're going to give them the nod today. We then got Jim Meister playing as that defensive midfielder ahead of them. To his right, it's going to be Neco Williams at wing-back, Romario Vieira with Glenn Dining up ahead. We've already talked about Felix Patterson. To nail off the final third, we've got Paul O'Connor, and alongside him, Kendra Simmons, who has been in the goals as of late. You can see here he's actually improving quite a lot, which is exciting. Only 19 years old. Hopefully he can keep that going, I guess. Anyway, let's get into today's game. As I said, the voice in the back of my head, that voice of reason, is saying, Jack, play defensive, play sensible, don't do anything stupid. I like to do stupid things, I'm afraid, folks, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to play on the front foot. We're going to see what we can do here. And, well, let's see how we get on, you know. I feel like we're in Europe. We're not necessarily going to make the group stage each and every year. I feel like I've not really touched upon the fact that I feel like to get to the group stage this year was one hell of an achievement. To do it consistently is going to be an even bigger challenge. So when we do make it to the group stage like this, at least in the immediate future, we do need to look at, well, continuing to improve. And, well, playing positive as well, you know, just trying to score as many as we can. I will say, I've kind of touched upon this a little bit. I'd be interested to know your thoughts in the comments. Obviously, we kind of have self-imposed transfer restrictions. I was thinking about adding some kind of exception, and I don't know what the exception would be. So if you've got any ideas for how we could maybe mix things up just a little bit to help the series progress on, I'd be interested to know. I did think about maybe having the idea that I can sign one player from anywhere in the world under 21 and one player from anywhere in the world over 21 each year. Maybe starting next year, maybe starting in January. Obviously, we have a lot of money to spend. Our transfer options are fairly limited. And, well, O'Connor takes the lead after 7 minutes. Jack, stop talking. I will just finish that point by saying, if you've got any suggestions, let me know them. Or what do you think of the idea of having one under 21 player from anywhere and one over 21 from anywhere? I'm finding that with, well, Brexit not really changing any rules, it's not a massive thing. But essentially, to compete in the Europa League, I need championship and above quality players. I don't have the ability to draw in championship and above quality players because of the league that we're in, because of our reputation. And so I need to look further afield, but obviously in looking further afield, I'm not going to find British players of the price that we're kind of looking at. And also it might provide an opportunity, if I do the over 21 idea, to sign some non-regen players to add to the team. I know some of you guys love regens, some of you guys don't like them so much. So yeah, if you've got an opinion on that as well, I'd be interested to know it. I know for some people they're going to feel like it ruins the point in the series in terms of it being, you know, all about youth. But at the same time, I feel like adding in some experience is good. It doesn't really change the fact that one signing a year over 21 and one under 21 from anywhere in the world is going to detract from the homegrown nature of the save. I just feel like over the course of a few seasons, it might just help us be more competitive in Europe, I guess. But anyway, that's not here nor there. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. At the end of the day, long-term stretch goal is to do well in the Europa League. I don't want to say win it. Reach the knockout stage of the Champions League, I think, would be good enough for me, given our kind of restrictions. Neco Williams, have a go, my son. Whip it in. I mean, we're 1-0 up here. I should be more positive about this. But, yeah, it's just been something that's been on my mind because people have talked about it a little bit in the comments. But, yeah, I feel like with this series, obviously, I'd love to try and win a Champions League. But as far as I was concerned, I was always going to do, you know, 6 or 7 seasons and see where we're at and take it from there. And I feel like in terms of hopefully continuing some progression, you know, signing players from further afield might just help us be a little more competitive in Europe. I mean, domestically, we're already fairly consistent, you'd have to say at this point. Anyway, Neco Williams, we want another. Simmons can't get there. That was a really good chance. 35 minutes gone. Sporting yet to have a shot on target. They have had one clear-cut chance. But we've been competitive. We've been competitive playing on the front foot, and that's all I can really ask for. We do need to deal with this here, and while we will get it initially clear, Kendra Simmons not too desperate to help out defensively there by pressing the defender, and while Gaspar here whips it in, Neco Williams gets it as far as Mane. I assume that's not Sadio Mane. That would be a weird transfer to happen this early on. I'm going to assume it's a different Mane. But, well, they're on the attack here. Luma, on this left-hand side, goes inside to Geraldes, who switches the play to Gaspar. He's going to have options in the middle. Crosses it It's offside. Guedes, the flag is raised. And relax, everyone. We can breathe a huge, huge sigh of relief. It was offside as well. It was narrow. It was a tiny, tiny margin, but I'm going to take it. And they've had a lot of possession in the last few minutes, which does leave me a little bit concerned. But we're 1 goal up, and that's all that really matters. I'm pleased, boys. What are my other tactics I've got here? I feel like I set up like a pressing system. That's fluid counter-attack. That's vertical tick-attacker. Okay, I don't really have a pressing system. I've now also indirectly ruined my entire team layout. I am wondering about switching to the fluid counter-attack. Is it dangerous to just drop our game? I mean, this is a system that the players are pretty familiar with, so it's not like we're completely changing things here. But I think it might just help us a teeny little bit as this game goes on. I will say now, we are in a bit of trouble when it comes to, well, just the discipline situation we've got going on here. It's not particularly great. A few players on bookings. I'm going to take off Romario Vieira and bring in O'Donnell, who will play as an advanced playmaker. I don't really have an alternative to Jim Meister in terms of a defensive midfielder, and he is on a booking, which is a teeny bit concerning, but I feel like we kind of just have to go with it. I think we'll just make the one change for now, but I am going to change to that fluid counter-attacking system. Players are reacting very, very positively. Let's see if we can keep it going. Going to be trying to hit them on the break now. We've got some quick players in Simmons and O'Connor, and even Phoenix to an extent, although we could bring in Janeel Bennett if we wanted to. If we now go on to concede a load, I'm never going to play this counter-attacking system again in Europe this year. I realised that was I'm never, and then I listed a load of stipulations to make it seem less dramatic. But basically, people always tell me, Jack, why don't you play more cautious? Why don't you play more counter-attacking? We'll see how we get on. If we lose this, I'm going to go, I told you so. If we win, I'll take it on board. They have a chance. I mean, they've scored after 50 minutes. Go back. Go back, everyone, right? Take your positions again. We're going back to what we were playing before. Jim Meister still on a booking, but yes, this time Guedes not offside. The ball out wide to Mane. He whips it in, and neither defender goes for the ball. It's a tiny bit frustrating when that happens, when they're all caught ball watching. And while with Sporting's first shot on goal, they find the back of the net. Ryan Gould playing for Sporting. I know he plays them in real life. He was a player who was so hotly tipped to do great things and never really made it, as far as I'm aware. I'm sure there's some Portuguese football fans out there. I'd be interested to know the general sentiment behind Gould. I know in FM terms he was kind of a really big wonder kid for a few years, and then he kind of just fell off the face of the earth after a little while. Either way, we've got to defend this here. Pereira out wide, goes to Gaspar. Can we stop it getting in? We can't. It's back post. He's completely unmarked. They've hit the woodwork and we are let off. I'll tell you what, Neko, just drop in a little bit deeper. You know what? That's probably a good idea. But yeah, you can see here, 20 minutes left. 1-1 would be huge. They're on the attack again. 1-1 would be huge, but it's going to take a miracle, you'd feel, to hold on to it. They are relentlessly attacking here. It goes in again. Gelson Dalla with it. I mean, for so long, we've looked competitive in this game, but as the game's progressed, Sporting have become the better side. They have shown their class. They kind of did it from the 20th minute onwards. We had a lot of our early chances whilst the play was with us. We got that goal during that phase of play. Since then, they have looked by far and away the better team. Gonna get a bit shouty with the players. I want to believe there's still hope. I mean, I knew he was going to get sent off. Jim Meister. I knew it. I knew it. I don't know what to do now. We're kind of in a bit of a situation here, aren't we? Oh my gosh, what do we do here? Glenn Dining's on a booking. I can't really chance him. Phoenix, you're not really a striker. We're going to have to go with a triple striker, I think, and just try and pump the ball into the box as best as possible. In terms of how we approach this, I feel like triple advance forward might be the way to go. We now need to change our system. Work ball into the box. Nah. No chance. Go route one. Be more direct. Hit early crosses. I don't want any of this nice fancy football stuff. I want us to hit them on the break and try and just boot the ball over the top of their defence, please, keeper. We have used all our subs. We've gone to proper Brexit football, a 4-2-3. It's going to backfire spectacularly, but we have to go for it at this point, don't we? They're on the attack. Mane with it here. I mean, 2-1, even 3-1 would be a decent result against Sporting. If we now concede 2 and lose 4-1, suddenly I feel like a bit of a fool. But ultimately, we've not been particularly competitive in this game, but the scoreline looks good at the very least. Brad Lyons deals with that ball. Can he deal with the second, though? That is the question. Whipped in. Kane boots it clear. I mean, surely not. Glatzel, go on, my son. Go on, my son. Kayendra's there. You can't get it into him. He can't get it into him. And now they're coming the other way. I mean, it's opened up the play a little bit, our tactical system. I guess that's what you'd have to say. Let's demand more from our players. Can they do something in the remaining period of this game? Let's go very attacking as well whilst we're on the back foot defensively. Ball at the edge of the box to Gaspar here. We don't really have any wide midfielders to support our fullbacks. They're kind of on their own. Kieran Kane. It seemed like an unnecessary foul. They probably would have scored from it regardless. But now we turn to Jared Thompson. Make yourself a hero, Jared. I feel like every time I put the pressure on Jared, he's never really lived up to it, has he? They score. Bruno Fernandes with it. It's his second goal of the season. I don't want to watch it again. I'm very upset at what I'm witnessing. But yes, Sporting 3-1 to the good here. They have been the better team. They're kind of making it show on the scoreline now. I mean, there's a minute left. O'Connor looked like he got hacked down there, and the referee isn't having any of it. 3-1 would be respectable. Let's make it respectable. Let's keep it respectable. Kiendra, why not? Why not? Make it 3-2. He's hit the woodwork. I mean, for a second I thought we were going to see some defensive AI masterclass. Unfortunately, not to be. We have now hit the woodwork twice. I mean, suddenly I'm going to claim that it could have been a draw on another day. Ultimately, I think Sporting, well worth their lead. But, given our transfer stipulations, given the team that we have, I actually feel like that's an okay performance. You know, we've been competitive there. We've not rolled over on our back and died. We have conceded as soon as I switched to the counter-attacking system. If I'd never switched to it, maybe we would have won on another day. I did notice lots of red there in terms of ratings for the average ratings for the performances. Kane and Williams on a 5.9 and a 6.0. The fact that Jim Meister gets sent off and still gets one of the best ratings in the team is a little bit questionable. But yes, Sporting win in the end. Not entirely surprising. Jim Meister being out for a game could be a little bit of a problem, especially considering we've got Sporting again next time out at home. But well, we'll have to see how we get on, won't we? Anyway, in terms of when we'll be back next time out, we've got that game against Sporting. I've not really talked about the league, but you can see here Glenavon are in second. Maybe we'll do both the Glenavon and Sporting games next time out as a double header. That could be a good way to do things, just to keep things fresh. I feel like Glenavon will be a good domestic game to focus on. Of course, they've been kind of one of our big rivals domestically, and they look like they're going to be one of our big rivals again this season, and they are currently unbeaten. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. Hopefully you have enjoyed. As always, if you have, do leave a like on the video. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.